My name is Marcus Brewster. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Serabi Gold. I've been with the company since January 2025. I'm a geologist and a mining engineer background, educated at Camborne School of Mines in the UK. I started my operational management career in Brazil with Troy Resources, a small underground operation, and then moved on back to Damang Mine in Ghana as general manager, and then into French West Africa, Bisa Buli, which is one of the North Gold's mines, as general manager, and then Endeavour Mines Hyundai Gold operation, also in Burkina Faso, as general manager. Then we had the interlude of COVID, where I did a little bit of interim GM work in Europe, and then moved to TriStar Gold as COO. TriStar has a project just down the road from us at our Serabi operations, or down the road as in the Brazilian context of things. It's sort of 200 kilometers down the road, but it's fairly close to us. So, and that there I use my sort of knowledge of very similar. The geology is very similar to the Tarkwa operation, the paleoplacer as we call it in geology, and I use my experience from Tarkwa and Damang there, and to move that project forward. I've got a lot of experience both in open pit and underground mining across Brazil, West Africa, even Southeast Asia. This has probably been one of the easiest onboarding exercises I've ever had with a company. A lot of the people, I did mention before that I was general manager for a company called Troy Resources. We had a mine called Andorinhas. Our current general manager at Serabi, Kilsa Cardoso, who was my mining manager there. So I worked with him for 3 years before. The exploration manager I've known since my Goldfields days in Brazil. Project manager Coringa I know very well. I've worked with him twice before, Paulo Mendes. And there's a lot of the old team from Troy at Serabi, because as Mike mentioned as well, there's 31 underground mines in Brazil. So the sort of the need for skilled operators, and then finding those skilled operators is quite difficult. So a lot of those, when that mine shut, they came across to Serabi. So there's a lot of friendly faces and familiar faces that I know, on the mine already. So and it's complemented by a whole bunch of other very, very professional guys there as well. So it's an outstanding team there. But in answer to that, it's been quite easy. My past experiences has travelled with me to Serabi. So, and that probably something a lot of people don't know is I actually worked for Serabi in 2007 as a technical services manager for a year. So I know it already. I've known Mike since that time as well. So it's, like I said, it's been a very, very easy onboarding exercise. It's very simple. We basically know what we need to do on a monthly basis, and we break that down into a sort of more manageable day by day mining plans, or week by week, and then we basically take each day and each month as it comes, and to hit the targets. And as you can see from our results, we've started this year very well. So and as I said, my relationship with a lot of the operational guys is already, they know exactly what is expected of them, so we don't have to go through that that honeymoon period. It's straight boots down on the ground and running very hard. So it's a day by day management process. As I mentioned, we have a director of operations and project, Helio Tavares. He's got a great deal of experience both in underground mining, but specifically Palito and Coringa with Serabi. Reporting into him is the general manager, Kilsa Cardoso. He's a very experienced underground miner. And reporting into him, we've got the usual health and safety manager, technical services, the mine managers for each of the mines. And they work very well together. They're a very good team, and my role in that is largely to make sure we stay on course and and execute the strategy that's been given to us. Logistics is one. We're in a very remote area. It's been improved by the fact that the BR 163, which is the federal highway that cuts up through the Tapajos, has now been tarred. So access is a lot easier, particularly during the wet season. Also, I mean, I think skills is a difficult is a challenge because we're in a remote area. There's a few villages around us and a couple of towns, but very little in the way of underground mining. So we redress that really by training, and more training, identifying people. There are people with certain level of skills with driving trucks and loaders and things like that. So we then take them on and sort of mold them into safe mining operators. So that's probably the key challenges, I'd say, amongst the usual ones like managing costs, and probably one of the bigger challenges is maintaining high safety standards. When you've got a relatively inexperienced workforce, utilizing the mining methods that we do, which are sort of shrink stoping predominantly, the employees have quite a close interaction with the rock face. We have to pay extra attention to our safety standards, even more so than normal. That's one of the biggest challenges, I would say. The workforce is quite easy. There's regular safety meetings, regular engagement meetings and functions to keep them engaged and informed. And as 70% of our workforce is from the local community and state, that obviously translates partly into relationships with the community as well. We have regular engagement sessions with the local communities. We have a few towns around us. We have a very strong community relations team. We do a lot of work for the communities as well, in terms of maintaining the roads, and we also maintain close contact with the various mayors of the towns around us, and the regulators. We have frequent visits from them. We're always communicating with them if there's any changes. We do engage with them in Belém, the capital, frequently as well. Our ESG manager and community relations coordinator have frequent meetings with the regulators in the regional capital and state capital. First of all, Coringa and Palito are underground operations. The surface impact compared to an open pit or any other style of mining is minimal. Everything is underground, and everything is controlled that way. And even if it was open pit, we have a lot of responsibility to put the area either back the way it was, or even better than the way it was. And that may sound funny saying that, but the areas we operate in have been quite heavily mined by the illegal miners and the small scale miners. So there is already a surface impact there. So we actually, with in conjunction with SEMA, so the state environmental regulators, we basically fill those holes in, put it back, topsoil over the top, replant, and let it grow back to the way it was. So we're not only covering up our impact, but we're also covering up the impact of others as well. But sustainability, it's basically embedded in our operations as well. We, as I mentioned, we have a very close community relationship with the community. We help them, the schools, keeping the roads maintained. There's a lot of dirt roads. We purchase a lot of stuff from the community as well. I mean, 46% of our purchase are from within the state, and we buy a lot of our food that's grown locally for the two mines as well. So we manage that very closely. So sustainability is definitely embedded, and I mean meaningful sustainability that affects and positively impacts the communities around us. Purely from an operational point of view, it's not really impacted the way we do business at all. I mean, a lot of companies will actually, as I think Mike used the word, throw the kitchen sink at the processing plant. What that means is we don't lower the cutoff grade to mine more material to process in an effort to get more gold. That we don't do that. Grade is king for us very much. It's important that we maintain that operational discipline, keep the grades high. That's where the ore sorters that we have, this wonderful technology we have on both sides, helps us as well to keep the grade up and keep the quality up. It's not quantity, it's quality that we focus on. Grade is certainly king with Serabi, and we're seeing the fruits of that combined with the high gold price. The only thing that we have done a little bit differently with the higher gold price is that it's allowed us to process some of our lower grade stockpiles through the ore sorter, particularly at Coringa. And then that allows us to bring more ounces into the production profile. As I mentioned, we've got a superb team on site. They run the operation day by day. I keep an eye on it, along with the CFO for costs. I'm certainly putting my fingerprint on the health and safety side of things. But it's all about the team on site, really. They're running things. They run things very well. They run things to a very tight, highly disciplined way of doing things. I visit site every 5 or 6 weeks for a couple of weeks just to make sure that everything is on par with it. If there is anything I can do to support, like additional equipment, do we need additional equipment? Do we need a different kind of equipment? And also, to help with sort of on the safety program as well. So as well as get involved in any safety inspections as well. So because of the quality of the team we've got on site, it's a fairly straightforward job. I've got a very hands-on operational management style. A little less so now. I'm a CEO and not a GM anymore, but that really hasn't changed much. And I really do have an ethos of treating people the way you want to be treated as well. So no, I think that's worked wherever I've worked. It doesn't matter whether it's Africa, Brazil, Laos, wherever. That type of management has a positive reaction and a positive outcome. And I do certainly encourage the team that I work with to operate in a similar manner. I'm certainly not a micromanager. I'm probably on the other end of the scale. I think it would be very difficult to manage these mines remotely as a micromanager. But I don't need to micromanage. Like I said, I'll say it again, the team are very, very good, and they manage day to day. I talk to them on a daily basis. This seems to work very, very well at the moment. The Tapajos, there's some estimates of 40 million ounces being mined from this region, largely by the illegal and small scale miners. So there's a lot of potential in the region to grow with the current sort of operating model that we operate with, narrow vein mining, high grade, ore sorting. I mean, the other interesting side of our model is that we truck ore from Coringa, 250 kilometers, which is amazing if you think about it. The ore sorter obviously helps by removing 40 to 50% of the waste from it, so it's a pre-concentrated product. But that's what allows us to truck, along with the road being improved and the availability of trained truck drivers. So we don't have a plant at Coringa. We don't have a tailings dam facility at Coringa. We truck everything through, and that model I think can be applied. There's a lot of deposits within a 250 kilometer radius of us, so of both mines. So that's part of our exploration strategy is looking for those next opportunities, not only immediately around our mines, but between the mines and further afield within the Tapajos. Added to that, there's opportunities for bigger operations that within our area that we're keeping an eye on. So within Pará, I mean, Pará is one of the premier mining states in if not the premier mining state in Brazil. So there's a lot of opportunities, not only within the Tapajos, but within the Carajás and other areas as well. So it's extremely exciting. We have the expertise, we have the knowledge, we have the experience, which a lot of companies, junior explorers, don't have. So I think we can certainly get in on some of those, on the success of some of those junior explorers. That's for sure.